Hey guys, welcome to my channel. This is a comparison review of Tecnifibre Razor Soft versus Grapplesnake Tour M8. This might be a premature final of my tournament of strings for the Tecnifibre Tfight 305S. Make sure to watch it. So first, let's look at the specs of both strings. We can see that the specs of both strings are quite close. Stiffness, tension loss, energy return, even spin potential. This is maybe the first racket that I enjoyed M8 in it. I previously tried M8 in Diadem Elevate and Tecnifibre Tfight 315. My first impressions were that M8 is sometimes sending the ball too high, even though the feel of the M8 is relatively stiff and you've got a lot of feedback from the string. But yeah, sometimes I was just losing it. But Tfight 305S is very control-oriented frame, very raw in feel, so M8 worked really well in it. I think the feel was more consistent and I didn't notice this kick, this boost to the power. It was very even, I would say. Razor Soft, in comparison, I felt like it is giving me a bit more for free. The feel is a bit softer, but still it is a control-oriented string. Both strings are very control-oriented, but giving a bit more. To put it in a more simple way, I would say Grapplesnake M8 is an alternative version of RPM Blast, where Razor Soft is an alternative version of Solinco Confidential. But if I had to choose which one is closer to those classic strings, I would say Grapplesnake M8 is a bit stiffer and more control-oriented, which I think translates into how easy it is to pick and play with the string. M8 is a bit more classic, so more familiar if you're coming from those type of strings, more control-oriented. Razor Soft, I think there is a learning curve to it, and you need to learn the string, you need to play with it a bit more to really get used to this feel, because sometimes it is shooting with much more juice, and for me, it was a bit challenging at times, especially on backhand, which is my better shot. With the Grapplesnake M8, I was holding the ball a bit longer, similarly long to Razor Coat maybe, and the feel is quite close actually. So yeah, you get the idea. One thing I have to mention is the looks. The color is very refreshing, it's not boring, it's very original, where Razor Soft, yeah, you can choose black and white, so we've all seen these colors in all the rackets possible, so yeah, olive green looks amazing in the Tfight racket. With this heads dampener, it's even better in my opinion. Yeah, I think it's just more complete and very pleasing to look at. So, to summarize, power, I would give it to Razor Soft. It is a more responsive string with a bit more of this catapult effect, but it is not engaging all the time on all the strokes. It is occasionally engaging depending on your acceleration. So you have to learn your strokes a bit more, you have to feel the acceleration, where you are getting hotter, where you are getting cold. On slower strokes, I feel like the string is sometimes getting locked and you don't get the help, so for example on defense. And sometimes when I was accelerating, trying to attack, I was losing the ball and hitting long, a bit too far, but at the same time the potential of your game is set a bit higher. You can play a bit better with Razor Soft. M8 is kinda just another classic string that we all know already. Maybe a bit more forgiving. Spin similar in comparison to, let's say, Razor Code or even RPM Blast. Maybe when this kick was engaging with the Razor Soft, I was maybe getting a bit more, but I had to hit the ball with confidence, which I was also losing with Razor Soft. Sometimes it was just a bit unpredictable. M8 has a tighter launch, has a tighter spin, so it is a bit easier to hit a bit more linear. Control, like I said, I feel like M8 being a more classic dead string is giving me more control, and again with the slightly lower launch angle and this lower powered response, control follows. M8 is a winner here. Feel. Definitely Razor Soft was winning here, especially on volleys. M8 was sometimes killing the ball, so I had to kind of add a bit more from myself to get the control over the ball. With Razor Soft, I could just stick the racket to the place and wait for the winning shot. A more responsive nature of this string is giving me an overall more forgiving experience. Comfort, kinda similar. They are a version of those dead classic strings, stiff strings, and trying to implement a modern DNA to it. So Razor Soft and M8 are kinda a softer, more forgiving versions of Solinco Confidential and RPM Blast. However, if I had to choose one, it would be definitely a Razor Soft when it comes to comfort. M8 is still with one leg in this classic family of strings. Now the last one, launch angle. M8, despite being a shaped string, I think it is shooting a bit more linear, it is a bit more predictable, and the launch is just a bit tighter. I felt it especially on my backhand side, where Razor Soft was sometimes shooting a bit higher above the net. It can be a good and bad thing depending on your play style and how you imagine the ball leaving the string bed. I would say with the M8 I was a more solid player, more consistent, but with Razor Soft I was a bit more creative, a bit more dangerous, a bit more unpredictable, but I eventually was losing more balls than winning them. So yeah, I have to pick Grapplesnake Tour M8. Guys, that's it for this review. Make sure to follow, it helps me a lot. I got a bit rusty, 1 month off from the videos. Yeah, I was preparing a lot of new things for you, a lot of growth, a lot of improvements. I can't wait to show it to you. Some hints are already in the background, but yeah, see you soon.